Welcome to Mindfulness Stick. Due to recent developments, many of us are feeling an increase in stress, anxiety, or fear. During these days, we may find ourselves spending a lot of time reading the news or ruminating on what's going on. Please use this time together as a sort of refuge during which we can leave that worry behind and focus on something simple, such as music. This lets us focus on the present moment, the here and now. Below, in the description, you can find a list of the musical pieces I've chosen for today, as well as some ideas that you can consider as the music is being played. I will also be reading them out to you in case you have any visual impairments. Feel free to write a remark in the comment section or journal your thoughts at home. The first piece I've chosen is called Gymnopedie No. 1, composed by Erik Satie. Satie's Gymnopedie is a very reflective piece of music that features one central theme that you'll hear in the higher register. Notice the changes between tension and resolution in the supporting chords. After a while, you may become quite comfortable with the harsh sound of the opening notes. Two questions I have as guiding. What emotions do you think the composer is trying to evoke? And what images come to mind as you hear the piece? And some context as well. The musical piece was actually inspired by the following poem. Slanting and shadow cutting, a bursting stream trickled in gusts of gold on the shiny flagstone, where the amber atoms and the fire gleaming mingled their dance with the men. This is Gymnopedie No. 1. The next piece I've chosen is Prelude in E minor, composed by Polish composer Frédéric Chopin. In summary, Chopin's Prelude is a short piece that is characterized by its chord patterns. The bass provides a rich context of colors while we hear a simple melody being played. Try to detect the climax of the piece. Some guiding questions. What do you think the mood of the piece is? Does the mood maybe change over time? And consider the name of the piece. What might it be a prelude to? Now some context. This is one of Chopin's most famous pieces, serving as inspiration to many to follow. The bossa nova classic, Insensitades, or How Insensitive in English, is just one of them. By Chopin's request, this piece was played at his funeral. The next 3 pieces I have chosen will be played on guitar before I will go to a final improvisation on the piano. So this song is called The Sun is Shining Down by J.J. Gray and his band Mofro. This simple song uses only 4 chords, using the same progression for both the verse and the chorus. However, the feel of the song is established right away and remains the same through the entire piece. In spite of this similarity musically between the chorus and the verses, you should be able to notice the contrast between the two based on the lyrics. What message do you think the composer is sending with that? Also, what genre do you think the song is? Do you think the song is religious because it has the word hallelujah in it? In context, J.J. Gray says that this song is based on the last interaction that his grandparents had with each other. He envisions the song as a conversation. How many more days can you hold out? How much longer can you wait? She asked. There was a time I thought I could answer, but my tongue gets tied as my thoughts drift away. Glory, glory, hallelujah. The sun is shining, shining down. Glory, glory, hallelujah. I'm alive and I'm feeling fine. All those simple thoughts, all those peaceful dreams, share the space with a hard word day. But it's the little things, not expectations that make life worth living. Glory, glory, hallelujah. The sun is shining down. Glory, glory, hallelujah. I'm alive. And the world, Lord, the world is fine. How many more days can you hold out? How much longer can you wait? She asked. There was a time I thought I could answer, but my tongue gets tied as my thoughts drift away. Glory, glory, hallelujah. The sun is shining down. Glory, glory, hallelujah. alive. And I feeling fine. This next song is called The Only Living Boy in New York by Simon and Garfunkel. This song is taken from the very famous Bridge Over Troubled Water album, released in 1970. The uncertainty in the lyrics is contrasted by the simplicity and familiarity of the chord progression, as it uses a chord progression that is very common during that time in pop music. What do you think the metaphor is behind The Only Living Boy in New York? Do you think by the end of the song, there's a sense of acceptance about being the only living boy? And in context, though it was recorded by both Simon and Garfunkel, this song was originally penned by Paul Simon during a time when he was living alone in New York, and Art Garfunkel had gone to Mexico to star in a movie. Tom, get your plane right on time. I know your part will go fine. Fly down to Mexico. Da 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 da, and here I am. The only living boy in New York. The only living boy in New York. I get the news I need from the weather report. Oh, I can gather all the news I need from the weather report. Hey, I've got nothing to do today but smile. Da 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 da, and here I am. The only living boy in New York. The only living boy. Half of the time we're gone, but we don't know where, we don't know where. Half of the time we're gone, but we don't know where, we don't know where. Half of the time we're gone, but we don't know where, we don't know where. Tom, get your plane right on time. I know you've been eager to fly now. Hey, let your honesty shine, shine, shine. Da 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 da, like it shines on me. The only living boy in New York. The only living boy. The only living boy in New York. The only living boy. Half of the time we're gone, but we don't know where, we don't know where. As the only living boy in New York, the only living boy in New York, the only living boy in New York. The last composed piece that I chose for today is called Time to Move On by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. So as the title suggests, this song is written from the point of view of someone who has decided to move on with his life or her life. It's up to you to decide, however, what they are moving on from. So I have just one question for this, but with sort of a two-part. So how do you think the writer feels about moving on? And is there reluctance about moving on? Or is he confident with this decision? This song was actually released on the Wildflowers album in 1994. In spite of this, it remains true to the unique Tom Petty sound that had been established since the 1970s. Yeah, it's time to move on, time to get going. What lies ahead, I have no way of knowing. But under my feet, baby, the grass is growing. It's time to move on, time to get going. Broken skyline, moving through the airport. She's an honest deflector, a conscientious objector, now her own protector. Yeah, it's time to move on, time to get going. What lies ahead, I have no way of knowing. But under my feet, baby, the grass is growing. Time to move on, it's time to get going. Broken skyline, which way to Loveland? Which way to something better? Which way to forgiveness? Which way do I go? It's time to move on, time to get going. What lies ahead, I have no way of knowing. But under my feet, baby, that grass is growing. It's time to move on, time to get going. Sometime later, getting the words wrong, wasting the meaning and losing the rhyme. Nauseous adrenaline, like breaking up a dog fight, like a deer in the headlight, frozen in real time. I'm losing my mind. It's time to move on, time to get going. What lies ahead, I have no way of knowing. But under my feet, baby, that grass is growing. It's time to move on, time to get going. It's time to move on, time to get going. What lies ahead, I have no way of knowing. But under my feet, baby, that grass is growing. It's time to move on. It's time to get going. So that was the final piece that I had chosen for today. Now I'd like to end on a piano improvisation for which I haven't written any questions because I would like you to use that time to let your mind go wherever it wants. If it wants to focus on the music, that's okay. If it wants to focus something that comes to mind because of the music, that's also okay. Just sit back and let the music take you wherever it does. Thank you for listening, and I hope you come back next week. Thank you.